Yeah, I grew up in Vanity, Arkansas, which is a big community. Had about 4 people in it, maybe 6, and I grew up on a row crop farm in the edge of the Delta in central Arkansas. And growing up, had a very strong work ethic. Spring and summer months were always work, and I didn't get to do a lot of the things that other kids got to do with sports and stuff when I was younger because we were working on the farm. But guess what? In the fall, all we did was hunt. And my first memories as a child revolve around hunting. My dad, my brothers, my uncles, we're all a very tight family. We come from from an area where most of the people, once they were raised, they didn't move off far. Just kind of stayed here around home, and everyone's a avid outdoorsman, and it's not really about hunting as much as it is about a lifestyle and a way of life. I was very fortunate as a young person to have a tremendous amount of private land to hunt in Arkansas, with a large population of deer and good waterfowl, good duck hunting. And early on, all my hunting was duck hunting. Kind of went down a different path than most of my relatives, and I really got bit with deer hunting. Got into bow hunting by some guys in Colorado that I'd gone out there on a youth trip with the church. They taught me how to shoot a recurve bow, and we went out in jeeps and watched mule deer and elk, at daylight above the timberline there in Colorado, and just got me hooked to come home. Took my own money, bought my first bow. The first years of bow hunting for me were all trial and error. I started at an age where here in our area no one bow hunted. I was the only one. I was there by myself. I was a 14-year-old kid, learning on my own, getting it done, trying to get it done, couldn't get it done, hunting every single day after school, every weekend. I mean, spending just hours, countless hours in the tree, and having so many close encounters. But I didn't know anything about hunting the wind. I didn't know anything about stand location. All I knew is we had a lot of deer, and how hard could it be, to kill one with a bow. It took several years. It was a 3 or 4 year process of learning curve and meeting and talking to people before my success in bow hunting really took off.
Blood Brothers TV will be right back. Welcome back to Blood Brothers TV.
This fall, they threw us a bone with Cherokee Sports grunt and doe bleat call, and had it right there, and could make multiple calls with one call, and cool looking call. I mean, everybody makes a grunt call, but it's just cool. It's just a design that it's cool to carry. It's just the opportunity or the ability to call and rattle to a mature deer, even a small deer, that just gets my blood flowing. I mean, if I'm bored and a 1.5 years in there, I'm going to grunt and rattle to him until I run him off, because I don't care if I spook him or not, but I'm going to mess with him and keep playing with him just to see how he reacts. Because one thing I've learned over the years is the more time I spend around whitetails and watching them interact in some form or fashion, the better hunter I become. During the rut, you never know what is going to happen or what is fixing to walk up. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've filmed deer and glass deer this morning, and the next afternoon or that afternoon be 5 miles from there and see the same deer out of my tree stand that I filmed off the highway the morning before. I mean, I've done it countless times, or watch a doe that's got 11, 12, 13 bucks on her at one time. I mean, it's just a feeling. It's something you just don't see. It's a magical time that only happens typically a few short days. And, you know, in the ruts, what's funny is when all the guys come back into camp, you know, the difference in having a good rut and a bad rut is if you've got a hot doe in your area. You can come into camp and one guy's had the sit of his life and 3 other guys hadn't seen a deer. You know, there's no mystical, in my mind, there's no mystical time for a rut. There's patterns that encourage the rut or weather patterns, but as far as there being a dead set magical time, there's just not one. The only way you're going to kill a mature whitetail is to be sitting in a tree.
They got us. That's one of the ones we was after, too. No matter what you do, you can't beat the wind. No matter what. God. That worked just like it's supposed to. He crossed the road. Yeah.
Well, I feel so blessed, you know, that I was able to grow up in the situation that I did. You know, at the time, you know, as a kid, sometimes you think that you want other things until you become an adult and you look back and you realize, you know, how fortunate you were. I'm sick, eat up with bow hunting, and I'm eat up with bow hunting whitetails. I knew from the first time that I sat in a tree with a bow and arrow and had a deer come 15 steps and didn't get it done, that I was absolutely crazy about it. It has been a major part of my life. It's a part of my life every day. It affects my relationship with my wife. It affects my kids. It affects my occupation. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I chose an occupation that would allow me the opportunity to hunt more than the average person. And I didn't have a choice but to be successful, because in order for me to hunt, I've got to be successful. Yeah, I've been in the insurance business as an agent for, you know, about 15 years now. And it's not an easy job all the time, but it is a job that allows you some benefits from time to time. And, you know, me being able to sneak off here or there and get a hunt in the afternoon when a guy that's punching the clock's not able to, man, that means everything to me.
Brothers TV will be right back. Welcome back to Blood Brothers TV.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to go to New Mexico on an elk hunt, and it was fantastic. One of the greatest hunts of my life, and was able to kill a 320-inch bull at 17 yards off the ground. And just an amazing animal. And there's no doubt I got a rush, but I could never replace that with hunting big whitetails. I don't know why. It's just in my blood. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 12 months a year obsession, from cameras to property that we hunt to scouting to talking about it. It's just it is actually an obsession and an illness, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That's the 12.
Yeah,
that's the big 12. Listen, this is the most unbelievable afternoon I have ever seen in my life. We've had bucks all over us. How many bucks have we seen? 20?
Yeah.
Bucks chasing does everywhere. That big giant just come out. I've smoked him. He's dead right inside the woods. I know it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Sitting in the tree with a bow it's just a completely different mindset and a feel from any other gun or muzzleloader that you can use. You know, I've used them all, but when you're sitting there with a bow in your hand, knowing that 150 is 17 yards, and if you had any other weapon, you would already be taking pictures with him, knowing that he's got to take one more step or move 6 inches or get past this limb or that bush in order for you to even have an opportunity, and it's still away from being over. I mean, just that alone is a rush. And, you know, that's what I live for. And, you know, even to this day, as many hunts and as many places as I've been able to go, if I go out on a management hunt and know I'm going to kill a doe, when she hits the food plot or she's on the trail and I see her, my heart starts pounding. You know, I get excited when I know it's time. I think bow hunters are just a different breed of outdoorsmen. The sport has grown rapidly, you know, over the last 15 years. I've seen it. Everyone in our area is into bow hunting, and it's a great sport. It gives you a lot more opportunities to hunt outside of a long gun season, which we have here in Arkansas. The whitetail rut is one of the most fascinating things to me that there is, and I think that's one of the reasons that I stay so just mind-boggling consumed in deer year-round, is because, you know, during the rut, you never know what is going to happen or what is fixing to walk up. Barrett. I shot him for 40. 39. He wasn't smoked, I can tell you that. I'm sorry I said another cuss word on the Fun Family show, but now I'm really pissed. When you're hunting, it's that 5 seconds before the shot's released and the 5 seconds after the shot's released. And that 10-second window is where all dreams are broken or made in bow hunting. And, you know, it's just that roller coaster up and down. You can be at your highest high, and 2 seconds later you can be at your lowest low. And it can happen that quick. And guess what? The big deer is a no-show.
Yes.
What about the 10?
Oh, he's there every afternoon.
In time?
Oh, there he is.
Go back.
He's late. You got a lot of stickers.
That,
They look pretty good.
that 10 isn't really a shooter, is it?
No,
I
it's
shoot that
4.
one guy.
Yeah, that's the one we're going. That's the one we're looking for.
Well, it's 3.
It's pretty.
Yeah, but
Easy.
Blood Brothers TV will be right back. Welcome back to Blood Brothers TV.
hunting was such a big part of my life growing up that I know and knew it was going to be a big part of my children's life growing up. I'm not the kind of dad that's going to I push hunting on my kids. I want them to learn to love it on their own. The values that you teach in hunting are so much more important. You know, there's the old saying that if you hunt with your kids now, you won't have to hunt for them later. And yeah, I believe that. Growing up, you know what, I was a knucklehead just like everybody else was. You know, I got into mischief and did the things that teenage boys are notorious for doing. But, you know, always in the back of my mind, there's almost like another code of ethics for an outdoorsman. And I think you even see that in today. You know, I don't know very many people growing up that got in trouble or got involved in drugs or were, you know, had serious problems that were actively involved in the outdoors. And I'm not saying it's a fix-all, but I think it plays a major part in leading a young person down the right path to make good choices. Because when you put the responsibility of a high-powered rifle or, you know, taking the law into consideration. At that age, I mean, they're forced to make decisions and to be more mature and grown up than someone who's not in the outdoors. I mean, that's obvious.
Son, this deer is bedding about 65 yards from the blind. We cannot afford to make any mistakes. We have to be extremely quiet. We cannot bang the chair. We get in the blind, when we get down here, we're going to walk in single file order, one right behind the other, okay? You're going to get right behind me, and Mr. Nathan's going to be right behind you. You ready? Excited? What are you going to shoot?
A buck.
A buck? All right, let's go see.
I believe that there's a moral character, almost an unspoken code of ethics when you take a kid hunting that they grow up with. And you know, us as outdoorsmen, everyone's got a different definition of ethics when it comes to hunting, and that's okay. But I think as a group, everyone holds themselves to a higher standard as a citizen. You know, we may differ on ways to hunt and types of weapons to use, but just the overall code of ethics of being a good person and the golden rule and just moral character. You know, I think that, I don't even think you teach that. I think that as you grow up in the outdoors, it's just something that you appreciate what you are been blessed with so much that it makes you want to be, you know, that better person.
Don't know. Kind of hunkered up weird. Yeah. He ain't running off very strong. He's over there. Okay.
Shot him. Can you see through the grass?
You see him? You have to shoot him through the grass.
I know, but I couldn't see.
I know, but look, how long do we have to wait and hold the gun? He didn't look as hot, but it's so grass. Yeah. Oh, I can't tell. I'm gonna tell you what. Next time Dad says shooting dang deer, shoot deer. The bullet's only about the size of that stick right there, and when it goes in, it doesn't leave a very big hole. You know, when we shoot them with a bow, the broadhead does what?
Can you go look at him?
You want to go look at him without Hunter? You do? You want to go? Your hunting partner's here in Kansas on another farm, and you're going to go look at your buck without him?
It's my first deer out of state.
All right, buddy, let's go look at him. I wouldn't do that to you. He has a little bullet. Get that. Get up there, buddy. Look at that. What do you think about that?
Look, why is there a big hole in the deer?
Well, because when they fight, those during the rut, and their horn gets pressed up against their horn like that, and another buck's horn's coming there behind it, they pinch it and cut it.
It takes years before a product that you had as an idea and was put down on paper, before you get to see it used with the level of success that these blood brothers did. It really makes us proud here at Cherokee Sports. I'm Brett Fulcher with Cherokee Sports. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I'm a blood brother. Are you?